Mountain.
That's right, Jake DeMarco, aka CountdownEnded, coming to you here once again to bring you my top 5 favorite moments of the week. That's right, trying to put a little bit of a positive spin on my reviewing critique lately. Hopefully everybody's doing well today. It's been a busy week in the world of wrestling for WWE. We're leading towards a major pay-per-view. Oh wait, that's right, it's not major, and it's kind of just been an extremely lackluster build. It's almost been forgotten about, really. TLC is not overall impressive, and the booking that they've built towards it so far has just been anything but desirable. Hopefully with the card that we have for Sunday's show, we end up getting, some surprises and some good matches. Overall, that's the most we can hope for. But NXT and AEW are both building strong for their final show of 2019. That's right. This upcoming Wednesday will be both brands' final show for the year, and they are trying to hit it out of the park best they can. NXT went ahead and had a triple threat #1 contenders match to see who would face Adam Cole, with Finn Balor winning that. So Finn Balor and Adam Cole will go head-to-head next week for the NXT Championship, as well as Shayna Baszler going to face Rhea Ripley for the Women's Championship on the NXT side of things. Then with AEW, we have the Young Bucks taking on SCU for the AEW Tag Team Championship. And then we also are going to see Jungle Boy go ahead and take on Chris Jericho in a 10-minute challenge. Not for the AEW Championship, but still going to be one hell of a match, plus more. So both brands trying to give us, massive shows. NXT feels more like a takeover, essentially, but they're trying to boost in those ratings, seeing as they tied with each other this week. But to go ahead and head right into things on the countdown, let's go ahead and begin. Right away, I went ahead and chose the debut match for the Blade and the Butcher, being accompanied by the Bunny, and facing Kody and Cutie Marshal as my number 5 for this week. I was thoroughly impressed with their debut because not only did Kody went ahead and put these gentlemen over.
Now the Butcher. Oh, just driving him in. The Blade covers 1, 2, 3.
That's right, they put them over in the match, and unfortunately QT Marshall was the one there to suffer the pinfall, still protecting Kody in the process. But these gentlemen got to win their debut match, and I was worried a few points in the match that they weren't going to go ahead and do so. Thankfully, it was booked smart. The action was really done quite well. QT Marshall was pretty over with the crowd, and I'm intrigued with them trying to build some more talent, because unfortunately with AEW right now, it genuinely feels like besides the main players, everyone else is falling to the wayside heavily. If it's not Kody, if it's not Jericho or the Young Bucks or even Moxley, everyone else just doesn't feel as important or relevant. Even Kenny Omega has kind of fallen off the main event scene in my eyes recently. So they have to be careful. They desperately need to make some changes, not only to the women's division, but also to their mid-card. They desperately need a mid-card title, as soon as possible. Hopefully we see that early on in the new year. But this match had a lot of great moments, great selling, especially from Kody. QT was able to get the crowd going. The Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny all had some, unique offense. The Bunny even got involved, raking Cody's eyes at one point, so at least she's going to be a competent manager and helpful to these individuals. And with the win here, it's a huge win over Kody, and now they seem like a real credible threat. So where do they go from here? Are they going to continue to meddle in Cody's lives and be MJF's, lackeys? Are they going to go for the tag team championship at some point? We'll have to see. But most intriguing out of this entire angle, as Kody brought up a couple weeks back, that he has no friends. Everyone is either occupied or kind of, betrayed him, MJF especially. And, the Young Bucks, unfortunately, his brother is involved in a big feud with the Inner Circle, and his wife is currently off the deep end. So, starting her own straight edge society, since there are 4 gothic factions in AEW. That's why I found this moment to be one of the most intriguing things of the night.
Extending his hand. What about that?
That's right. We saw none other than Darby Allin come down to the ring there to go ahead and help Kody up, and walked right past the Butcher and the Blade. Darby, unfortunately, is injured right now, but this is a great way to keep him, in the focus and mind of the viewers at home. Since he faced Chris Jericho, even though he lost, he looked excellent in that matchup, and it's been, nothing but good things for him going forward. He's, pretty damn white hot with the crowd, and people are enjoying him. You see people painting their face like Darby, and hopefully the injury goes away rather quick, and we can go ahead and get more from him soon. Number 4 this week, that's right, Seth Rollins' heel turn. Though I wasn't shocked by it, and there were certainly a ton of better ways that they could have handled it, I at least appreciated the fact that they followed through. I was worried, genuinely terrified even, if I might say, that they weren't going to go through with this fully. Originally, myself and Joe Cronin had predicted that it would be a slow burn, but then it almost seemed like they were reeling back. He had a genuine apology to the main roster, and even though he still sounded somewhat condescending at times, it seemed like they were easing up on some of the heel turn. That's why when we had Kevin Owens, out in the ring and demanding to face AOP, and Seth denying that he had any involvement with them whatsoever, it almost seemed like that could be a possibility, but thankfully that wasn't the case. Kevin Owens goes hunting for AOP after receiving a lead pipe from none other than Rey Mysterio. Kevin's in the back, destroying the van that AOP arrived in to Raw.
Come on!
While trying to go ahead and, goat them out for a fight, he notices someone sitting on the inside, tries, to start attacking, but AOP blindsides him coming from behind and lays out Kevin Owens pretty effectively. It's at this moment that we have one of my favorite memes now. If you were watching the Raw review, it was damn hilarious. We have our Inspector Gadget, evil villain, Dr. Evil moment here as we get the full reveal that it is Seth Rollins sitting in the back of the van. Can't meme it better than this, folks. Crowd reacts, and now we know that it is Seth who is the mastermind. So we have the Architects of Pain, as people are calling them. I do like that name. They go ahead, and Seth Rollins finishes off Kevin Owens with a stomp onto the concrete garage floor.
I'm sorry.
Kevin then is taken away by ambulance, and Seth comes out to the arena to address the fans, saying that I had nothing to do with AOP. You didn't believe me. You gave me no choice. And now he's forced into this situation. Intriguing angle. I'm curious to see where it goes from here. Will Kevin Owens get his retribution against Seth Rollins? And, how far do they go with this AOP team up? Do they become, equal partners in the form of the Shield? Or is it just in lieu of what they did previously with J&J Security and make them just outright bodyguards? Quite a few different options, and I'm curious to see what happens from here, which is more than I can say for most of the storylines on Raw. Number 3, AEW once again gave us one hell of a main event. That's right, the Young Bucks taking on Santana and Ortiz in a Texas street fight. The winners get to go ahead and face SCU this upcoming Wednesday on AEW Dynamite for the tag team titles. This match was wild right from the start. Young Bucks come out, and as soon as their money pyro goes off, they get attacked right, from behind by Pride and Powerful.
Portal.
Listen to the
Everything
10.
goes to hell rather
Listen to
quickly.
10.
People are getting put through the stage, through tables. It was just total chaos. Now, the bell did ring, and that's really my only criticism for this match. Instead of waiting for them to get inside the squared circle for the match to start, they did ring the bell. JR even addressed it, saying, well, the bell rang, but I don't think the match has started, and it turned into a bit of a cluster at that point. But regardless, besides that, they put their bodies through hell for us. It was your, standard Young Bucks match. Lots of action, lots of crazy maneuvers, top rope stunts, dives to the outside. Multiple tables were broken, as well as bodies all over the place.
Springboarding in. Meltzer driver on the chairs.
Quite
And the
impressive
cover.
there. You saw the Meltzer driver onto the steel chair. There was just multiple spots that were so effective. Some of these table moments were, next level as far as what we've seen recently, especially compared to what we've gotten on WWE lately.
In the face.
They meant it there.
Look at that.
And that was
premeditated.
I loved that super kick. I have to see it one more time. So simple, yet so effective. The way they hold the chair, it does protect him in a sense. They know what they're doing, but that looks utterly devastating. I cannot say it enough. Let's see it one more time. Maybe
Chris
not.
Christie,
Well, we'll go through the
right here
tables.
on TNT in a week.
And just can't believe how well they did in this match. They consistently deliver. They're always putting their bodies on the line, and I thoroughly appreciate it. Maybe now we can see that one more time.
In the face.
they meant it there.
Look at that.
Great match, great way to close out the show, and I am really excited to see the Young Bucks and SCU. We'll see what happens going forward. I don't think the Young Bucks are going to take the titles, but I think we're going to get one hell of a match. On to our next number in the countdown, number 2. It's coming from NXT. That's right, we have the triple threat I was discussing earlier. Finn Balor, Keith Lee, Tomaso Ciampa. Everyone got in some great moments here. Really impressive night for Keith Lee. He looked like $1,000,000. This man is massive, and the things he can do with his body is just awe-inspiring. He's very agile, nimble, and so strong.
Can happen in a triple.
Oh my! The slingshot diving crossbody
I
block
thought
by the
Moro was going to have an aneurysm with how crazy he was going with some of these calls, but I love the story they told in this match, and some people were upset that Finn Balor not only won, but he pinned Keith Lee. But the way that they handled it in this match, I thought it was very smart. Balor is the veteran. He's, the one with the lengthy career here, as at least by the way they're telling the story. I mean, we know Ciampa's wrestled for a long time as well, but Balor's been on the main roster. He's been the Universal Champion, and therefore they're saying that his expertise was able to go ahead and allow him to be victorious on this night. He was able to capitalize on the younger Keith Lee. And I thought the way they handled it didn't make Keith look weak whatsoever. He just basically got blindsided. So Keith Lee delivering constantly. That big man almost gets a near fall here. Crazy 2 count. Almost 3. And then Keith lines up for a victory, going ahead and just slamming Ciampa out of his boots, only to eat the coup de grace from Finn Balor for the victory.
control of this triple threat match. Spirit bomb. Coup de grace by Balor. Balor out of nowhere with the coup de grace.
Love this match. Definitely worth watching in full. I only highlighted some of the crazy moments that were there, but I would suggest if you haven't seen it yet, go back and watch this main event. And more than just the main event itself, it's what, the implications lead to, and that's the title match coming next week between Finn Balor and Adam Cole. I cannot wait to see that. For me, Adam Cole is certainly contender for Wrestler of the Year, and he has every right to claim that title, essentially. I saw him in person, and he was, just so over, even as a top heel at NXT 25. You figure Johnny Gargano would be the ultimate babyface, but the crowd wanted nothing to do with him and just ate up everything, and I mean everything that Adam Cole did. So I'm curious to see, when the NXT year-end results come in, who took top talent, top star, top team, and what the, number one match was as well. So before we go ahead and give you my number one for the countdown this week, I'm going to give you my worst pick of the week. And it might be obvious to some, maybe not so much for others, but this storyline has just ruined me lately. And unfortunately, it just keeps going. Instead of giving us anything else, they open Raw with a 20-plus minute divorce segment. Lana is just screeching like a banshee, flubbing her lines. She's not even intelligible. She makes little to no sense for the most part as she contradicts herself endlessly. It's just really infuriating to listen to her screech on the microphone.
Find someone like me again!
I don't know if Rusev is intentionally trying to act this way, but he seems so nonchalant and just aloof at this point. Like he really doesn't care. He's just, hey, let's sign the divorce papers and be done with this mess.
I say we get to the point and sign the divorce papers!
And what shocks me is that, when you look back right now on the WWE YouTube channel, out of everything that happened on Monday night, this is the only angle or upload to reach over 1 million views. And it's not just 1 million, it's at almost 3 million at this point in time. People are eating up this storyline, and I just don't understand why. Just like we discussed on Out of Nowhere, Lana's received death threats for betraying her loving husband, and I mean, it's gone wild. Credible death threats to the point where the FBI has to send out protection detail. That's insane. This, of course, all leads to Bobby Lashley coming down to the ring to protect the honor of his woman, Lana, and, all hell ends up breaking loose after trying to sign the divorce papers, and Rusev puts Bobby Lashley through a table.
Look at the plant! Lashley through the table!
Lana, boobs and all, just reacting as she does. That face is, I'm telling you, mouth agape, drives me nuts. But it's just, this storyline is never ending. It doesn't make much sense to begin with. Something so simplistic as, a cheating husband or a wife's betrayal. They've made so convoluted and messy that I honestly couldn't give a damn what happens with this. And now, Sunday night at TLC, we have to see the table match. And unfortunately, I do not believe that this is going to be the last time we see these two meet up. Finally, number one. That's right. It's the Firefly Funhouse / interview with The Miz on this past week's SmackDown. Now, SmackDown itself was not a good show. A lot wrong with that episode overall. But I am so intrigued here. I'm genuinely looking forward to this match above all else at TLC for so many reasons. We haven't seen Bray wrestle as himself in years. Now we're going to go ahead and get not The Fiend, but Bray Wyatt coming out. How is he going to come to the ring? What are we going to get from him? Is it going to be the same style entrance with the lantern? I doubt it. Is there going to be the red light? I don't think so, because that's not, powering The Fiend. They're not going to have the let me in with him coming down to the ring with, the lights down and the red lights and the lantern. And so I'm dying to know just his entrance alone, his attire, his moveset. Obviously, he's not going to be super powered like The Fiend is. So I think we can get a very competitive and I don't want to say unorthodox, but against the style we've seen where The Fiend is very strong and dominant, or just lying on the mat after receiving some type of offense from his opponent. I think there's a lot that we can get from these two. They've worked well together in the past, and the story that they told on SmackDown made a great deal of sense. We were kind of curious originally, as Joe and I had discussed on the SmackDown reviews previously and Out of Nowhere as well, why would The Miz even bother? Why would he face Bray Wyatt when he's gone to Daniel Bryan and others saying, it's a terrible idea for you to face The Fiend because he changes you. And then, what do you know? The Fiend and Bray Wyatt start to, I don't want to say attack, but stalk The Miz's family. Miz is doing an in-home interview, and we see suddenly the baby monitor get taken over by Bray Wyatt. And his daughter, Monroe, is playing with the puppets in her crib. that home invasion angle is quite shocking and certainly trying to push the envelope more than they usually do. So I appreciate that greatly. Does this lead to him abducting any, Maurice or his children? What happens going forward? When they finally do get into her room, they see a doll that Bray had left behind. They don't know where it came from. It's obviously panicking the parents.
Where did she get this?
What is that?
Where did she get this?
I don't know.
Baby, where'd you get this? Where'd you get this? Where'd you get this?
And then later in the night, when Bray actually goes ahead and comes back for the funhouse, we see the same doll, and he says, I was just trying to leave you a gift. Again, playing more mind games with The Miz. I love this angle. You got the home invasion. You've got the personal touch of a man's family. It's something so easily relatable. It's not anything difficult to digest. Everyone, as a father wants to protect their family. Easy as that. And that's exactly what The Miz has to do now. But why did The Miz get involved in all this? We know Bray and The Miz have bad history. They've had a lot of issues that they've had over the years. Well, before we get the doll's introduction, Bray Wyatt actually answers that. And he said that because you were warning everyone else, you made yourself vulnerable. And it's such a simple answer that it makes a great deal of sense. The Miz was so focused on stopping everyone else that he opened himself to the Fiend.
Was fired!
Gotta love that. That cracked me up as well, but...
So focused on exposing what happened to Daniel Bryan that you ended up exposing yourself!
And that's just it. He's right on the money. And it's like I said, simple answer, but it works the best.
I was just trying to be nice.
More head games from Bray Wyatt, so I'm very, very intrigued to see what happens Sunday at the pay-per-view, especially since it's a non-title match. We might see Bray lose. I doubt it. I did pick Bray to win, and if you're watching this now, you can check out my TLC predictions. My daughter Danielle joined me earlier today to go ahead and deliver our 2019 TLC predictions for the pay-per-view. We go through the entire match card, so I'll have that linked and the card up above and down below, so go ahead and check that out. But what were your top moments of the week? Do you agree with my picks? Is there something that I missed that you think that I should have included? Let me know. And as always, I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'll see you Sunday for the TLC review on the Joe Cronin Show. And stay sexy.